and potential customers, and even potential customers, and even
All right, everybody, welcome back to another session live with Jerry Derival. And tonight we're going to talk about a bunch of things, and I have a very full agenda. For those of you who have been waiting for a little while, apologies that I start this a little late. All right, everybody, welcome back to another... I've been told some of my friends have told me that I need to do that at 9 p.m. EST. That's because it's 6 p.m. PST for them. So right here in the East Coast, it's 9 p.m. for me, or 9 something for me, 9:23 I think over here. But for them over there, it's 6:23. So I guess it's a good idea. And as I'm gonna be doing that more often, I would like to accommodate and do the best I can to produce this live at a time that's good for everyone. And okay, I was trying to be live on Instagram as well, but for some reason this didn't work. What are we going to talk about today? Well, today we talk specifically about a conversation that I had with a neighbor who asked me about advice for a young person who's thinking about starting a career in cybersecurity. And I'll tell you all about it. But there have been quite a few questions this week, and I will answer them all about the best path to start a career in cybersecurity. And I think I'm going to leverage the conversation that I had with my neighbor as the answer that I will provide to most of those who asked the same question this week. I think I've got to have a better water bottle here, but we live, we learn. All right, folks. My neighbor stopped me the other day and said, "I have a question for you. I know you're in cybersecurity. There's a guy who works for him, and apparently this guy has been working for him for about 18, 19 years, right? And the guy now has a son who is older, 19, 20 years old. And the father is looking around for opportunities for this son, as the son doesn't seem to be interested in anything career related. And so he'd like to help the son find a way to start a career and be a productive member of society in his own way. And so he reached out to my neighbor, who is the employer of the father. And the father had been working for my neighbor for about 18, 20 years or so, about the same time when the son was born. And what they have been doing is that they have been sampling different professions. Today, the guy can be in this store, and this other day it's in another place learning about another profession. And for some reason, my neighbor suggested to him, why don't you look into something tech related? And he says, yeah, that interests me. And he says, what branch of technology are you interested in? He says, cybersecurity. Then my neighbor said, why? Why cybersecurity? Why are you interested in cybersecurity? He said, well, first, it looks cool. And also, it looks reputable. And he says, do you have any other reason? He says, well, they said there's a lot of money in there. And he said, I know a guy, and I'm going to try to see if I can get you to speak to this guy. And so when he asked me, what should this guy do? And can I speak to him and put him in the right path? I said, no, I can't. I said, I can't help this guy. And I'll tell you why I can't help him. The number one reason why I don't have a system that can help him become a cybersecurity professional is because he has never worked in technology before. So if you're thinking about starting a career in IT or in cybersecurity, not just IT, if you're thinking about starting a career in cybersecurity, not only should you not think about the money in the beginning, because you're not going to make a lot of money. In the beginning, the people who start don't earn a lot of money. And so when people think about a lot of money to be made in cybersecurity, they think about the people who have been doing that for 5-10 years. And so when you start fresh, you're not going to earn the same amount as someone who has been doing that for 5-10 years. So for you as the beginner, there's not a lot of money. But you should instead focus on learning the skills that are required for you to get to the level of proficiency that will earn you a lot of money. And why is it that I can't help someone who has never worked in IT and who suddenly wants to start a career in cybersecurity? The reason for that is similar to if you were to meet a doctor who says, well, I am a brain surgeon. I have been trained by the best brain surgeon in the world. Yet, I don't know how to put IV on people, or I don't know the basic things about medicine, right? You wouldn't feel comfortable letting this brain surgeon operate on you. It is the same thing with cybersecurity. It is an advanced and very specialized field. And so you can't just say, I want to be a cybersecurity person as the first job that you have in technology. The first time that you meet technology or the tech field, you shouldn't be looking for a cybersecurity job. Although I can teach you, I have the systems in the method to teach you the things that you need to know. So make no mistake, I'm not saying that it is not possible for you to learn cybersecurity. Even if you have never worked in cybersecurity before, or you have never worked in technology before, you can still work or learn, should I say. I want to say learn here. You can still learn cybersecurity as the first place or the first encounter that you have with the technology field. But while it is possible for you to learn it, I don't think it is very likely for an employer to be convinced that you should be given the job of securing their most precious assets. It is kind of like if you want to be a NASCAR driver and you have never learned how to drive before, and you show up to Ferrari and say, Ferrari, I want you to give me the best Ferrari so I can represent you in the next race. I don't think they're going to believe that. I don't think they're going to believe that you can do that. Now, is it impossible for you to learn from the best NASCAR driver? I think you can. Your friend, your neighbor, whoever is a NASCAR driver could teach you how to drive one of those cars, even if you have never driven a car before. So the same thing is true for cybersecurity. I can teach you advanced technology, even if you have never worked in technology before. But I believe it is going to be very hard for you to convince an employer to give you a job in an advanced position such as cybersecurity or network engineering or network security or cloud engineering, cloud security, when you have never worked a day in your life in technology. So, make not the mistake of thinking that it is not possible to learn it. It is possible to learn it. I know people who have done that. But it is hard for them to land a job because they don't have prior experience. And so what did I recommend for my neighbor to tell this guy? I said, this is what you need to tell this guy. Look for the curriculum of the A+ by CompTIA, the curriculum, and understand what the curriculum invites you to learn. This will prepare you for an entry-level tech job. It is easier for you as a person who's entering the field to start at an entry level. But you must also put in your mind that you're going to earn entry level salary. And you're going to need to put up with that for a little while. And I would recommend that you put up with that for a year to 2 years. So the A+ curriculum will take you to an entry level job. Even without the A+ curriculum, you can still get an entry level help desk job. That is because these jobs, they don't require experience. They don't require a lot of experience. They don't require advanced expertise. They are entry-level help desk positions. And so for this entry-level help desk position, the employers are not as demanding as they are for the advanced positions such as network engineering, network security, cloud engineering, and cybersecurity engineering. So if I were you, I'd say, let's go for the easiest entry point, which is the entry point that doesn't require experience. But beyond this point, beyond the help desk or technical support job, you're going to need to show some experience. So when you're ready to level up to the next position, which will be an administrator position most likely, or an analyst position, you will need to show some experience. But the first job doesn't require necessarily a lot of experience. Of course, if the employer has the option between you, someone with minimal experience, and someone with 2-3 years of experience, and both of you are accepting the same salary, of course they're going to take the guy who has 2-3 years of experience. Of course, if there's another guy who has 2-3 years of experience plus a college degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, of course they're going to take that guy over you. That is why I also recommended to my neighbor to tell this guy who is 19-20 years old to look for a way to put all of the tools, or as many of the tools as possible, in his tool bag. And what I mean by that is attend college, get certified, and more importantly, find a job in the next 6 months. I said, don't repeat the mistake that I made, which was I spent 7 years in college while pursuing education without earning a decent income. I want this guy to start earning an income within the next 6 months in technology. And for that, he's going to learn the A+ curriculum like his life depends on it. And from this point on, he's going to attract an entry-level tech position. And from this entry-level tech position, he's going to level up to an admin position, in an engineering position, in an architect position. And at that point, cybersecurity will be easier for him to break through. I've heard a lot of issues. I've heard a lot of people who had been promised a lot of things, that it's easy. They can learn this thing in 7 days, 20 days. I don't believe it is that easy. In my opinion, it requires some elbow grease. When you start in this field, there are a few things that you're going to need to realize. Is that first, you're not going to earn a lot. Second, you're going to have to dedicate your time to learning, to mastering the craft. And you're going to have to be able to do that for a year or two. And you can't be complacent. If by the time you're making $45,000, $50,000, you feel very happy, you might stay there. But do not forget that in just a few more years, you can be earning high 100,000, like 150, 160,000. In a few more years, you could be beyond the $200,000 per year. So for that to be possible, you must learn, and learn as hard as you can in the first 4 years. So I concluded my conversation with him by saying, Brian, this IT or this technology field, as easy as people might think it is a 4-year commitment. Whatever you choose, there are multiple paths that you can take within those 4 years, those first 4 years. Go to college, attend boot camps, start a job in technology, right? Get certified and get trained by me. But whatever you do, you've got to know that within those first 4 years, your income is not going to be at the highest level, and your effort will have to be at the highest level. So low income and high effort for 4 years. And from that point on, the world will be your oyster. If you guys know the poem, If, I think this is by Rudyard Kipling. If, I feel like saying this in Morgan Freeman voice, right? If you can build the world, and da da da. I don't remember the poem. Let me look it up. I'm going to read this poem, Morgan Freeman style, for you. If. Poem. I think it's by Rudyard Kipling. You guys are going to like this poem. Yeah, Rudyard Kipling. Let me transition this screen here. You're going to like this. And I'm going to give you my radio voice. All right. I find this on this place right here, poetryfoundation.org. I think it's reputable. The name sounds reputable. There it is. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, that's not really Morgan Freeman. Let me do it Jared DeVal style. I can't be Morgan Freeman. There's only one Morgan Freeman in the world. And if I try that, I'm going to lose my cool. I'm going to lose my reputation. Let me try my way. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for the doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, let's do that one again. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stood and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss. The rest of it says, listen to the rest, right? If all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distant swan, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. That's the part I wanted to say, right? If you can learn, let's relate that to technology. All right, I want to keep watching this poem so that I can give you the radio announcer voice that I have, but I want to put it in technology, right? If you can learn technology for the first 4 years after you entered this profession, if you can ensure that you don't make earning six figure your ultimate goal on day one, if you can dedicate yourself to learning and mastering your craft of technology, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And which is more, you'll be a man, my son. All right, enough of that. Well, if you can learn the technology, if you can dedicate yourself to that craft for 4 years and understand that it's a 4-year commitment, listen to me, folks. I'm done playing now. If you can dedicate yourself to this thing for 4 years and incrementally learn some of the toughest concepts that you can learn, they're not really tough. You will discover a few things. Once you start learning technology, you're going to discover a few things. It's not difficult. It is super easy. The field of technology is not as difficult as people think it is. Computer programming, network engineering, cloud engineering, cybersecurity, firewall migration, those things are not difficult, folks. They appear to be difficult, and the way people have been teaching them make them look difficult, but they're super easy. I can show you how easy they are, right? If you can dedicate yourself to those things for 4 years, but preferably if you can be earning a living while learning this craft, yours will be the world and everything that's in it. Which is more, you'll be a man or you'll be a lady, right? So understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take commitment. It's going to take some grit, as someone I know would say. But you've got to put up with it. Understand as well that you're not going to earn the highest income on day one, but you've got to put up with it. Understand as well you shouldn't be complacent. When you started a tech career, you're going to earn about $45,000, $50,000 a year. To a lot of people, that may seem like a lot of money based on where you're coming from. For me, that was a whole lot of money. My first real job after I had a bachelor's degree was $45,000 a year. And I really, I didn't like the job. I didn't like the people I was working with. But I liked the income. It was a lot of income for me. My apartment was $850 at the time. Okay? So that was a lot of money. And I didn't conceive all of the other amount of money that could come later. But I'm telling you, because I know now, right? When you get there on year one, I think, on year one, the minute you have a tech job, an entry-level tech job, you're over $40,000. But don't be complacent. Think about year 3. On year 3, you're supposed to be a rock star. But how do you get there? Well, that's where I can help you. I told my neighbor that I couldn't help the guy enter the IT profession because he doesn't need me. Even if I could teach you the advanced concepts, no employer will give you a job just because you learn the advanced concepts. They want to know that you have done it on the job. You have had some work experience. And it is easier for you to get some work experience when you look for an entry-level position. Enough of that. Let me answer some questions. And I've already told you guys about the next cohort that's coming. Let me bring the chat up here. That's where I'm going to end, folks. This is going to be a short session. It's not going to be a long session. I promise you that these sessions would be short. That's enough for me to get used to how to do that stuff, right? I'm not a professional podcaster. I'm not a professional influencer or whatever. But I do have an interest in getting this message across. I do feel wholeheartedly that I have something super valuable that I can contribute to the tech field. But I've got to keep moving. I've got to keep doing the things I do, and I'm super busy on a daily basis, wanting all of the things that I'm wanting. And so I've got to create the time, and that's the time that I have. So if you ask me questions I didn't answer throughout the week, that's because I knew that I would be live right now to answer these questions. And so I'm trying to bring the chat up. I don't think I have any message here, but I see people watching me. So I want to conclude this way, folks. Get ready. Get ready for something big to come on April 1st, right? And it's not April Fool, folks. What it is that it's the next generation cohort of Magna Cyber Academy. And for the first time, I'm going to have 2 cohorts start on the same day. Why? That's because the first one is full. And I have a limited amount of people that I can take per cohort. And so I've reached that limit already. But I've already started registering clients for the second cohort, which also will start on April 1st, 2 different times. Okay? And so head on over to Magna Cyber Data Academy right now and apply now. And one of my team members will reach out to you and help you understand if you qualify. But what's most important to us is that you learn technology. And if you have never worked in IT before, this is not for you. It is for someone who has at least 6 months work experience. At that point, we can help this person transition from an entry level to an admin position. Folks, that's all I have for you. Starting a career in IT is a promising thing to do, but you've got to realize that you've got to put some work in, and you've got to be willing to sacrifice some income. And so don't think that you're going to earn 6-figure in the first job that you get the first time that you enter the IT field. It is more likely to do that by the second job. And I think you're going to stay in the first job for about a year. That's it. Thank you. Until next time, this is Jerry Derival.